This iron watchtower belongs to a German fort located in Qingdao, China. But why does China have a German fort? And did this fortress really witness World War I? Today, let's step inside and uncover the story of the Qingdao Hill Fort. Hello everyone, hope you are having a wonderful day. I am on Qingdao Hill at the former coastal fortress that once guarded the harbor. The road behind me is the one that leads to the fort. Qingdao sits on the southern coast of the Shandong Peninsula in eastern China. In November 1897, the German Empire occupied Qingdao Bay, and in 1898, the Qing government was forced to grant a 99-year lease. The Germans then turned Qingdao into their Far Eastern naval base and built permanent fortifications here, including underground command tunnels and gun emplacements. Back then, this view had renamed Bismarck Hill. Earlier locals called it Fengtai Ridge, and today we simply call it Qingdao Hill. I almost forgot to introduce Qingdao City to you. In modern China, Qingdao is a major port city and one of Shandong's leading economic and manufacturing hubs, home to global brands like Haier and Qingdao Beer. Qingdao Hill rises about 128 meters. On Qingdao Hill, the Germans built several military strongholds, including the North Battery and the South Battery. The North Battery has been completely destroyed, and what we will see today is the South Battery. From the park entrance is roughly a 2-kilometer mountain walk to the entrance of the South Battery on Qingdao Hill. Local accounts say this same uphill path was once used to haul shells into the underground works. The entire defense system was designed and supervised by German engineers and officers, while Chinese contractors and laborers carried out the construction, reportedly working 12 to 16 hours a day. Alright, once we reach this point, we are essentially there. From here, you can see reinforced concrete works. Up front is an embarrassing firing slit. Okay, finally we have got the entrance of the underground complex. And this Chinese plaques means the fortress of Qingdao Hill. It was 1914, Japan and Britain took Qingdao after a 2-month siege. The Germans blew up their guns before surrendering. The Qingdao Hill Southern Battery's underground works survived and were later used by Japan, Nationalist China, US Marines 1945 to 49, and the PRC Navy. Look at this amazing door. Key steelwork was made in Germany and transported here for assembly, especially the armored turret. These iron blast doors are part of the original design and were built to withstand blast, shrapnel, poison gas, and flooding. It is said this iron gate is an original German-made piece. Today, the underground works are part of a public World War I heritage park and museum. It costs 60 yuan, about $8, to enter this underground building. The entire structure was built using a 3-step process for excavation, concreting, and backfilling. First hollowing out the hill, then reinforcing it with steel and pouring concrete, and finally covering the structure back with earth. Now I am at the first underground level. It was also the most important part of the battery's firepower configuration. This battery once mounted the 4 28-centimeter crucible howitzers installed here in the early 1900s. The third emplacement has been transformed into an exhibition room, so we can't find any howitzers here. Let's go to another room to find. Here is number 2 emplacement. Let's say it's also an exhibition room. Now let's go out. Here it is. That's it. In the howitzers emplacement, I'm looking at a full-scale 1-to-1 reconstruction of the Krupp 28-centimeter howitzer, reproduced from historical drawings and sources. Before World War I, it served as a heavy coastal gun at the Qingdao Hill Battery. It has a 283mm caliber, fired 215 to 345 kilogram shells, and reached about 10 kilometers away. The mount used a central pivot circular turntable in a pitch-style emplacement. The original gun was destroyed by German forces before they surrendered in 1914. Later, when the museum was created, Chinese researchers traveled to Germany, obtained the Krupp drawings, and produced a 1-to-1 replica. Besides the full gun emplacements, the battery also featured supporting facilities, including a clothing storeroom where the Germans kept their uniforms. During the 1914 Siege of Tsingtao, the South Battery was manned by 3 German officers and roughly 100 soldiers. To maintain the fortress combat readiness, the battery stored between 80 and 400 shells for its 4 heavy guns. Inside the underground complex, these shells were moved along rail tracks that connected the ammunition rooms to the gun positions. And to bring those massive shells up here, some had to carry or haul them up the same steep hill path I just walked, a route that was long and extremely hard to climb. On the first underground level, there are statues of German soldiers from 1914 recreated to show what they might have looked like during the siege. There is also a scene of command meetings depicting officers deep in discussion. Their faces are covered with thick dust, symbolizing the collapse and defeat of the German forces in the Battle of Qingdao. Beyond the first underground level, there is a second level. Level 1 handled the business of fire, but the second underground level played an important critical role in logistics. It is said that this fortress had level 3, but the entrance to level 3 is forbidden. Now let's drop to level 2. This is a hurricane lantern that was commonly used in this battery. At that time, electricity had not yet been available, so soldiers relied on lanterns like this for light. This is the toilet of soldiers, but actually closed. Beside the officers' toilet, I found something interesting, a bathtub. This bathtub was built by the Japanese. They loved taking baths, so they built many bathing facilities in the areas they occupied. At the end of the second underground level, I found the boiler room. It's a logistic heart of the South Battery, feeding hot water and heat to the bathhouse and kitchen, keeping the passages dry and making the bunkers livable and fight-ready for long deployments. The most iconic structure of this battery isn't its underground section, but the massive cast iron watchtower above it. I am now heading up to the surface to take a look. On the summit stands an armored observation cupola set on a cast iron base. From inside, observers had a 360-degree field through narrow vision slits. with a rangefinder and a simple periscope for spotting ships offshore. The cupola, linked by an iron ladder to the plotting room below, phone lines and speaking tubes carry the barriers to the gun crews. Its job wasn't to fight, but to see, measuring distance, correcting fire, and keeping the whole battery coordinated. The First World War ended more than 100 years ago, yet wars still break out across the world. Only when humanity stops all forms of war and conflict can we truly become a civilization capable of reaching the stars.